don't even see my audio levels on this. Do you?
I
Yeah.
don't see mine.
I see.
I
Well,
see
I
all
see.
of you guys.
I see everyone's.
I don't see mine. Mine's just a flat line.
Just like it hurt.
Manu, what the fuck?
Fucking, we
Why
can
why
only
are you
be
throwing so much
lucky.
shade at Taz? First he's old and now like he has no heart.
What do you mean? These bastards throw shades at us like every other
What do you mean,
day, and now
these
you feel bad for
bastards?
them?
I have not said a single thing.
Oh,
And all of
okay.
a
I'll give you
sudden,
like
it's
10
these
minutes.
bastards. I see how it is.
Listen,
Manu.
you're always like the hype man. Taz will say something and just pinches in the back. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm laughing at something that I find funny.
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
sorry.
man.
You know,
Did
well,
something happened at work today, Manu?
Yeah, you want to
God
yeah, you want to talk
damn.
about it, man?
What do you mean? No.
Is this what happens when he really doesn't want to fucking go into work and refuses to call a sick day and just goes in anyways? He's just in a shitty mood the rest of the day.
Which, by the way, Deepu took a sick day.
Based off of your
How do you
logic, I
take a
had
sick
20
day?
I had 20 days. It's mental health day.
Look, Jas, where do you stand on this? Sick days are not to be taken when you're actually sick. You don't waste a sick day on when you're actually sick. A sick day is a day where you're like, I don't want to fucking work today.
Yeah, I know. I side with that. Manny, you did the right thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could be dying of the fucking bubonic plague and I'm still gonna go into work. But the day that I feel amazing, I'm taking that fucking day off.
Manu for whatever reason does not want to take a day off. And he's like, I'm only gonna do it when I accumulate 20 sick days.
No, hold on. I still take some here and there when I have a really bad headache. But I'm saying
Oh,
I'm not at a point where I can freely take them, I feel like.
a sick day is a sick day. You are allowed to take it. They can't
I
deny
know.
that.
No, I know. It's not because
yeah, you
work
could be
is
sick in the
denying
head.
it,
I don't know.
or it's just a me thing, I guess.
Let's be honest, Jazz, we're all a bit sick in the head.
Yeah. Well, dude. Okay, so
I mean,
you
with
just
how
woke
much
up
you're
today.
standing on your magic decks, I'd say that's a sickness.
Yeah.
Manu's,
So,
you
man-
know, I think I know why Manu's like this. He's excited that one of his cards that he just recently bought isn't getting banned.
Yeah, and this car is like $65.
Is that why you keep shifting left and right? Like you have to take a massive leak?
That's
You're
just,
just
me.
fucking excited.
Yeah.
Taz, turn down your
Uh,
mic a tiny bit.
So Manny, did you just like play like Stardew Valley all
I'm
day?
just gonna put it further. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's perfect. No, I played TMNT all day.
All day.
Well,
So
like
how many
4 or
days
5
are you
hours.
working this week? Like, because I'm pretty sure you have like a Jewish holiday, right?
17 hours played of this game, dude.
Okay, hold on.
Did you?
How much?
Let
Did
let
you
him answer my
fathom it?
question. Let him answer my question. How many days are you
4.
working this
I'm
week?
going to be working
this-
for 4 days.
Is this your new Stardew Valley, dude?
Okay, but you played 12 hours. I'm only 5 hours ahead of you in terms of hours.
Yeah, but this wasn't in one day that I fucking played.
I didn't
12
play
hours.
17 hours in a day.
You didn't have 17 hours yesterday.
No, I mean the game is well, I guess introductions. Welcome to Non-Quiet Score, the video game podcast, or we want to be the video game podcast. We have Jazz, Taz, my brother, Manny or Manu. Like I was blanking on like what
know
you.
who your brother is.
My brother? Question mark.
I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
go with the second
Manu.
guy.
The second guy, right? And
The
yeah,
part timer.
the part timer.
Part timer. Oh, the part timer. I actually like that.
You're gonna change it in the online handle from the childish kid to
No.
part timer.
They don't say the maybe.
Childish part timer.
The childish part timer, actually.
Yeah, we've been playing TMNT Splintered Fate. Actually, we would love to be playing with Jazz, but you
Yeah, well,
you just can't make it.
sometime.
Conveniently, you can't make it whenever we want to play.
well, yeah. I mean,
Have you bought the
you
game?
guys decided to play yesterday when I was feeling off, but last week I had a work thing. So, how's the game, guys? Tell me about TMNT. It feels like we have two camps. We have the camp of the part timer just having the worst time with this game,
No,
and then
no,
we have
no.
the other camp of people that like to give games a chance. Before just kind of
I don't get Manu's hate, man.
dismantling.
Well, okay,
it.
hold on.
He hates the young people. He's going on while we're playing yesterday about how much he was just fucking annoyed
So,
that Bad Bunny.
You're talking
was
about how
the
much he'd rather be
halftime
playing
show.
Roblox the entire time.
Oh
He
man,
just
I
fucking
hate
all
this
he
so
wanted
much.
was to watch the Kid Rock performance.
But yeah, TMNT is a roguelike centered around the TMNT universe. Um, like
TMNT centered on the TMNT universe, really?
oh yeah, I guess so. What's the full name? Splintered Fate, I think.
What's
Yeah, yeah.
what does TMNT mean? Mano, please enlighten me.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Um, so the game. I don't know why you're dying over there.
No, I know.
The
I just saw
game.
Taz. I saw Taz smirk, and,
I'm only,
I
I'm
think I know
only,
why
you
because
you don't know why because you weren't there. I'm just
okay.
I keep thinking back to double slot.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I know what you guys are. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay.
Because
Okay,
yesterday
so
we were
like,
playing. Sorry, I'm gonna quickly just
go
fill in
ahead. It's
that
fine.
story. Whenever my brother wanted to say double slot, Taz and I kept hearing
Double
double
select, you
slot.
idiot.
Sorry, double select. We kept hearing double slot. Anyways, go on.
Anyways, yeah, go.
It's a fun game. It's just the problem is it doesn't have the depth as it does as a game like Hades does. Um, and so that's why I just like after a couple runs, I feel like I've already explored what the game has to offer because there isn't much variation with the characters. Or I mean, there's so you start with the four turtles, and then I think there's three DLC characters or two.
Mhm.
Two.
And so there's that, but the power ups you get don't drastically change the game style. So I feel like I've already experienced most of the game. Like I'll keep playing it. It's fun to play co-op, but I don't think it's a game that I'll be playing by myself much.
I have the opposite feeling because I feel like when you're playing the way we've been playing, we haven't been really using the modifiers. Like eventually, once you do a run, portals open up before the next level, and they add a certain level of difficulty. Like for example, like enemies are going to be stronger, or like these mouse robot things, Mousers are going to explode when they die, or you heal. Like healing is half less effective. Things like that. And so we haven't really been adding those modifiers when the rewards are a lot more significant as well because the coins, dragon coins, and the dream coins or dream shards or whatever they're called, they're used as a primary source of currency to have the upgrades, which are going to benefit you in future runs. And you kind of like, after a while, you kind of have to use those portals or else you're just
I
going to be
think
grinding a lot.
I think what Mundu was saying is like even if we did activate those portals, it'll maybe make the run a bit more challenging, but it's not going to make it significantly different than previous runs
Yeah,
in any
there's a
other way.
difference. Yeah, there's a difference between variation and difficulty.
With
Well,
that
Um,
said, I don't think it really matters. This is not it's a Hades like, but
yeah.
Hades is in itself such a high bar that you can't expect
mhm.
any game that comes out that wants to be Hades to actually be Hades. And this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. Like, think of the demographic this is aimed for. This is not aimed for that specific Hades crowd. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game that, I mean, yes, it's for, I guess, the people that liked Hades, but also everyone that TMNT appeals to, which is these days I guess people my age because we grew up with it, but also like the younger crowds, like they had that movie come out a couple of years ago, and that's drawing in a whole new demographic, introducing them to those kids. And so and it's a Nickelodeon game. Like, you
Yeah.
can't go in with the expectation that like, oh, this is gonna be like Hades, and every run's gonna be really cool because there's gonna be like all these new dialogues that you unlock, and more character relationships develop. It's a Hades like, it's a very shallow one, but it's a very competent
Well,
and fun game to play
the
for what
way
it
I
is.
see it, it's in terms of length, it's a lot shorter than Hades is, if we're using that as the main comparison here. And with that in mind, I think it's an appropriate kind of proportion in terms of like how much the game offers based on how long the game is. Because I'm at that point now where I'm almost like I'm working towards like getting all the upgrades and I'm like I've made a significant dent and that's like only a few extra hours of playing compared to you guys. So it's like it's short, yes, but then with that in mind, all the varieties make sense.
And
No,
let's
also
also don't
keep
forget
in
that it's
mind
like
this was a mobile game.
Oh,
yeah, I
was
was
it a
just
mobile
about
This
to
game?
this
say
originally came out for Apple Arcade and was exclusive to that for a while before eventually making its way to Steam. So this is basically a glorified mobile game, and the fact that we're playing it as much as we are, regardless of how we feel about it,
Yeah.
kind of speaks to the overall quality for what it is too.
That
Yeah,
surprised
and
me
see,
then the
because
that's
okay,
why.
other
so Natalie came in the room when I was playing. She's like, "This looks like a mobile game." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure it's like it doesn't have a mobile release, but she's like the UI and everything makes it seem like it is."
But I was
Oh, there
gonna
you go.
say that it was also like $10, I think, when we all picked it up
Yeah.
too. So to
Hmm.
Yep.
me, like I think one of the first thing that I read one of the reviews on Steam was like this is like a poor man's version of Hades, and it's but the person still give it a positive review. They're just saying that like I am taming my expectations before I jump into this game. The question I have is like since you guys have already put like what 10 to 17 hours on
Hmm.
not combined, but it's like if I'm playing it for the very first time and I jump in with you guys, like am I
Gonna get
you
your
know
shit kicked in? Yeah, probably. But
Well,
probably.
Well,
not
no, because we
necessarily, because
don't we
like
don't need to do the harder content. We could just stream. We could just do the normal. Because
yeah,
like
so Jazz
so,
can
y-
experience the normal
Well, I
playthrough.
mean, like I mean, so that's the thing. So it's like I would have to either prep beforehand, right? Like play a little bit, put some hours in to get to your
you
level,
don't have
or
to.
you guys are dumbing. Well,
So you don't
Well,
have to.
no.
So it's to give you some context. When you beat the game once, you unlock a harder variation of the bosses, but you don't. It's like when you right before you get to the boss, you have the option of either doing the normal run or the harder version of it, and then spread out through the maps are. In the beginning, if you can change these like challenges portals, you go to and unlocks like a harder version of the next. It accumulates harder difficulties, I guess, as you do a run. Yeah, so I just want to reiterate, like this game isn't bad. I was just being realistic with what type of game it is. At the end of the day, they nailed the. I mean, and Todd, you can probably speak on this. Like they nailed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like feel and humor, every part of it, all the character Easter eggs. Like they did a good job of like really. If you're a fan of it, you're going to love the game.
yeah, I
And
mean the game is sort of it's weird. It's like an odd mix of it has its complexities in the upgrades and all that, and yet somehow it's still kind of shallow as a
Hmm.
game. But that said, I'm just happy to have a good TMNT game these days to play, especially one that's actually 4 players. So, you know, $10 well spent.
and there's something to be said about like when you do play multiplayers. I guess the last thing I want to mention is like it does scale up in difficulty. Like runs when I'm playing by myself are so much easier than compared to when I'm playing with you guys. I seem to die so much more often, and it's also like if even if we're ahead, Jazz, and we're joining your save, who like you're just starting off, there's good incentive for us to play with you just because we're getting resources that we can use on our own save to get more unlocks.
so do you guys have like just I mean I guess quickly going around the table, do you have like a final grade? Like could be letter, could be like out of 10.
I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
I'd give it an 8. Nothing wrong with the game, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I think it's a yeah,
All right, next Monday, the whole
sure,
crew,
sure.
I mean, we can
the
also play
fourth,
after
the
this.
fourth turtle. Yeah, why not?
Uh,
Fourth.
have you been playing anything?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I started playing over the weekend like a dragon pirate Yakuza.
Yeah, I saw
Uh
that and I was very confused.
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of I opened like I had finished Resident Evil and I kind of wanted to just kind of play a game where I can shut my brain off and just kind of I mean, I'm not really playing it for the story. Like, let's just be, let's be honest. So I opened up Game Pass and I noticed that they recently added it. So I figured, why not? Let's give the game a shot. Um, you know, I've played Yakuza games in the past, not obviously to the extent that Taz have, and I haven't actually finished one. So I wasn't really sure if this was the perfect game to kind of jump into. Honestly, I kind of read online about it too, and it's not a bad starting point. And I'm actually having quite a lot of fun time. And I love like the little mini games that they have spread all across Hawaii. Like one of my favorite mini games is just like the karaoke. It sounds very silly, but like I actually
Wait
dig
till
that.
I don't know how far you are, but wait till later on when you unlock Dondoko Island,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's basically Animal Crossing inside of this game. When I
It
unlocked that, I think the next 15 hours of my playtime was spent completing Dondoko Island.
That's yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because like the game has like many like game genres like built in, right? And it's just been a lot of fun too. And I don't find the combat to be like very complex. Like I'm playing the game in normal mode, I'm not really getting my shit kicked in. But obviously, like when you do like those police missions or whatever, like depending on the difficulty, like you do get your shit kicked in. But yeah, no, it's actually a lot of fun. And it's really the kind of game where like I put on some music. I'll just like put on like a Spotify playlist, and I'll just kind of smash, like mash my, like mash the controller, and just kind of, like I said, like play either pool. Like I've been doing a lot of blackjack as well. Like the baseball thing is actually like really really fun too. But yeah, like and so is the karaoke aspect of it. Again, is this the best game in this series? I don't know, Taz. I don't know if you thought that this was like very, very different, but even like the
I
naval
mean,
battles, like I actually really quite enjoy them too, right? Like just kind of destroy, well, the naval battles, like like when you can, like when you're in your ship and you can just kind of like you
oh
know
wait, you're playing Pirate Yakuza in
yeah,
Hawaii,
pirate
right?
yakuza, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, my bad. So there is no Dondoko Island.
Oh, okay.
That's in the RPG version. Um,
I saw
yeah.
I saw you
So I'm gonna
I
have
saw
to
you played the
disregard.
game,
I kept thinking
and
you were playing Infinite Wealth for some reason.
no,
Okay, never
no.
mind.
I'm
So,
so
but I know that you guys
confused
played
at the
pirate
series you're
yakuza, right?
describing.
The what?
I'm so confused at this series because I thought it was an RPG game with like mini games,
No.
but apparently you're telling me there's no RPG elements in
So
the
the
version you're
one,
playing.
So the
it's
version
a spin-off.
he's playing a spin-off, which is similar to the traditional style Yakuza game. So he's playing a
That's what I
beat 'em
was
up
looking for.
Okay,
like the one that I'm gonna have you play when you
right.
eventually start Yakuza 0. So, yeah, so this one has Majima that you're playing,
Yeah,
and
the
no,
art.
this was really fun too. It's a good, like, you can probably platinum it in like 40 hours easy if you wanted to, and you'll have a good time doing it. And yeah, no, the naval battles, everything, like, yeah, super super fun. Upgrading your ship where you're fighting these like crazy fucking enemy captains, like robots and God knows what else,
It's so
and then you
over the top. It's like so silly, but like that's what I love about it. Like whenever like a cutscene comes up, like I just I eat it up. Even if I'm like, okay, like Majima, like I don't really know who this character is, right? And he goes to this island, and he has like no recollection of who he is, right?
are you
And then
playing
obviously,
Japanese voice or
yeah, I'm playing Japanese, of course. Yeah,
switch
I
to
didn't
English?
really.
Honestly, the English dubs are very, very good. I actually prefer playing with the English dubs compared to the Japanese because the voice acting is
Interesting. Okay,
actually
yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah, because like I mean, like the game is clearly made in Japanese. Like, why would I switch to English, right? But I mean, I'm enjoying like the tone and the mannerisms in Japanese. But if you say that it's a lot more fun in English, I'll definitely switch it. And
No, I mean, not that it's more fun, but it's just the English is done well enough that
mm,
you're not gonna it's not gonna feel awkward or off because you're like, "Oh, yeah, this should be Japanese because these are Japanese characters." Like, it's just sort of you'll forget about it, which I think is
okay,
the best case scenario.
cool. But yeah, that's what I'm playing right now. It's a lot of fun.
I rolled credits on Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh, how was the story?
Uh, um, I
It's a good
mean,
sign.
I wasn't expecting a great story, I
Yeah.
think, to begin with, just because 'cause I've kind of given up on that when it comes to an Assassin's Creed game. Um, so in this case, obviously it has the 2 characters, there's Yasuke and there's Naoe. I think I very much preferred playing as Naoe, but story-wise, I preferred Yasuke. I think his was just more interesting. Um, the game just kind of abruptly ends. It's really weird.
Uh
Like,
huh.
it's
Yeah.
just I got done playing as Naoe, and I was like, "Okay, wait, so that was like, I'm done?" And I'm looking at missions, and I'm like, "Okay, so that was the last one, that's it?" Like, it's just sort of, it fucking fizzles at the end, and even for Yasuke too, it's just
Yeah.
it's a bit more of a how do I put this? It's a little more clear that this is the end of his journey in this particular instance, but you can tell that there's still more story to tell, and they're not doing it, and I guess they were saving it for DLC, which there's one that had come out not too long ago, and then they said after that that there's nothing else coming, so I don't know how the story continues in that, but anyways, from a story perspective, not too impressive, but just in terms of everything else, I can really only speak to to Noway's side of things because if I put 60 hours into this game, and I'm pretty sure like 50 of them were Noway, and it was
Is
an absolute joy to play.
it was the second DLC like not announced or like just not being pushed for development because of like how the game was
It was
received?
never there was never a second one announced, but I think the assumption was that there would be multiples because there always have been.
Hmm.
So I think people just assumed that there were going to be several story DLCs, but then
They mentioned, yeah,
they
like
released
they
Claws of Awaji recently, and then they
uh,
were sort of like, all right, now we're done with story DLC for this game.
but that's the thing. It's like even when the game released, right? Like they had like a, oh, here's our time, like here's our timeline for the next year. And of course, like the first DLC was like in the next couple of months after release, but they also kind of left the door open for future stuff. Like the way that they were wording the content is like, oh, future content or future release and stuff like that. But obviously now it's not gonna happen after everything that's going on with Ubisoft. But yeah, even I had the same feeling too. It's like, I think I put about like 70 hours in the game, and maybe about 50 hours were now way. Just because it was just so much fun, playing as a shinobi, right? And using like the shadows. Like that was amazing. Like that on its own was an incredible addition to the Assassin's Creed series, right?
Yeah,
Just from a
I mean, I
stealth
remember it
perspective.
kind of gave me Splinter Cell vibes with sort of being able to play around with lighting, hiding in the shadows, putting out candles or using your shurikens to like knock lanterns off or whatever, and using your grappling hook to climb to the roof of a building or climb to the roof of a room, and so you can hide sort of along the ceiling and then assassinate your enemy when they get below you and all that stuff. And I guess it made me miss Splinter Cell, but also at the same time, I was like, at least we have this, and this is really it's a fun game. The stealth is very, very nice to engage with. Like it's always I enjoyed, raiding a castle and then trying to take out every enemy that I could without being seen. And it would take you a while. And the cool thing I thought with Naue as well was if you're if you're dealing with multiple enemies at once in a combat situation, they're not just gonna simply wait, one after the other and attack you. They're all just gonna fucking come at you. You're gonna have like a guy with a spear poking at you, a guy with a sword coming at you, one that's gonna be dual wielding whatever blades, knives, and then you're gonna have, in the distance a guy with a bow that's just constantly fucking pelting arrows at you, and you got to find a way to dodge or to parry these attacks. And even like late game when I'm fully decked out in gear and I'm pretty high level, I would still just have encounters where like basic enemies would just fucking kick the shit out of me because there was just so many of them and they're all attacking at once. So, I enjoyed the challenging aspect of the combat in that regard. But yeah, sneaking around with her and all that stuff was just super fun. And I think that's what made it that I put as much time in this game that I did. Um, And this game is gorgeous, man. Honestly, I think this might be one of the best looking games I have ever played. Like, I think in the first couple hours when I was playing it, I did enjoy how beautiful it was, and I felt like I was playing it, and all it did was make me want to play Ghost of Yotei. But then as I put more time into it, and you unlock more abilities, and you kind of get a feel for how things are with Naui and how to work with the stealth, and you're like, okay, this is actually really fucking dope.
I do
So
have to say one of the things that I think they could have used a bit more is the weather system. Because the way that they sold it was like, oh, because you're in the snow, right? Like, so your footsteps are a bit like, they're not as
muted.
heavy, right? They're more muted, right? So the enemies, they don't hear you, as much as, let's say, if you're in the summer. I kind of was hoping that the weather system did play a bigger role. And one of the other things that I appreciate, I don't know how you played it, Taz, but to me, if you're an assassin and you have a hidden blade and you take the hidden blade and you like, if you like kind of go and you just kind of like pierce someone's like neck, they should be dying like one shot. But what I don't like about these games is that the bigger enemies, they become these bullet sponges. So it's like you go ahead and you basically go behind and you take out your hidden blade and you kill an enemy. He's supposed to die, but no, actually the enemy will like lose a little bit of health, but then you have to like fight him. So I went in the accessibility settings, and I made sure that if you assassinate someone, they die like one shot. So I think that also made the experience a lot better, and that made those towers or whatever you want to call them like much easier to complete. Because if not, you're spending like at least an hour per
I
per
mean, I'll be
tower.
honest with you, I looked at that setting. and I wanted to toggle it on so bad because I agree with what you're saying. Where on the one hand, if I'm plunging a blade into your neck just because you're 2 levels above me should make it that you survive that, and then you just
Yeah,
proceed to fucking kick my shit in. But on the other hand, I guess I sort of appreciate the difficulty of it, that they're not making it that easy, and there are ways to
that's fair.
still defeat those enemies, and obviously later on, there's a good sense of satisfaction when you know that there's an enemy that normally you wouldn't be able to assassinate in one hit. You can kinda sneak onto a rooftop, and then you just sort of you have the necessary skills unlocked that you just basically fucking jump his ass from the roof, and you plunge that blade in, and he's dead, and it's a very satisfying feeling. Um, and to your point for the weather, yeah, they coulda used it more, but I mean, I appreciate that it was there at all. So, yeah, like, the snow will dampen your footsteps, and in the wintertime, like, when you're sneaking up on rooftops, sometimes icicles will just loosen
Oh,
up and
it's
fall
true. Yeah.
from the side, and that'll, like, alert enemies that you're there, and, things like or, like, if it's raining, that'll also kind of dampen your sound so you can sneak around a little easier, and it's harder for enemies to see you as well. Um, so, all really cool, additions. I feel like I would love another Assassin's Creed game like this. I want them to go even harder on the stealth. Remove Yasuke. It's cool that you can just kind of attack enemies and have this like big brute that has this crazy move set. Um, I just it's not Assassin's Creed. That's another
That's
game.
why I
So
was
if you
waiting
wanna
to
if you
ask.
wanna do that, make that game and don't call it Assassin's Creed.
Like, since you guys have both finished it, like, do you feel like this game you would have preferred if instead of having two protagonists, you just had Naoe to focus on?
Yes. I think I would have liked Yasuke still in the story. I don't wanna play as him. Make him an ally, give him a storyline within the game so you have missions that you either get from him or you work with him. Because there are missions where you're both working together, so part of the mission you'll play as him, part of it you'll play as her. Um include him because I think he was a cool character, and I like the whole concept of him is this, foreigner that comes in, is taken in by Nobunaga, made into a samurai, former slave. A lot of cool things from a storyline perspective. But again, this he is not what Assassin's Creed is.
But you made
So
it sound like it's a very small portion of the game. Is that with
it's as big
Yasuke?
as you want to make it.
Oh.
There are certain missions where, because of the context of the story and it's a campaign mission, you have to play as him.
Hmm.
Um, but for the vast majority of the missions, the game will let you select who you want to play the mission as.
Okay. Okay.
So,
So
if you
so you're
want to
telling
play
me,
Naue for the majority, you're very much going to play Naue for the majority.
so for most missions, you then have two approaches. So like either the brute force approach or the
Yeah.
stealth approach.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And that's what I actually appreciated. So to answer Manny's question, like I'm
But
glad
I
that they
never
put both
wanted
of
the
them.
brute force. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm not playing Assassin's Creed to brute force. I don't know why they thought anyone wanted this. I think a lot of people had issues with Yasuke, and obviously there's the side of it that I'm not going to get into with the racists and the bigots and all that. But yeah, my main thing with him is just it's a play style that doesn't belong in an Assassin's Creed game. Maybe for like one mission just to give you a taste. Okay, fine. But he shouldn't be like the second playable character because even outside of the main campaign, he also has his own set missions you have to play as him because then what happens in those missions ties into the greater story of the game. So it's not like, I can fully avoid playing as him. There are instances where I have to complete a whole set of missions as him because his backstory then ties into things that are happening now. And so then I can finally move on with the main story. Um, but I mean, yeah, all that to say, just I think they made a mistake with the dual protagonists. I think they should have just kept Naue, and that's it. And, yeah, give me another Assassin's Creed. Give me a Shadows 2, I will happily play it. There is definitely more story to tell, especially with the way that the game ends. And so, give me that and just oh, man, lean super fucking hard into the stealth. Give me more shinobi style gameplay. Like, this is exactly what I think people wanted from a Japan-based Assassin's Creed. So, this game's got real good bones for a sequel if they wanted it.
Yeah, and before we maybe go to the games that you guys are currently playing, I mean, again, I see what Taz is saying. Like, I actually like the two character approach. And what I'm thinking is like maybe just to play devil's advocate, I think maybe Ubisoft is like, look, I mean, we're finally making an Assassin's Creed game where it's based in Japan. It will be kind of odd if we didn't have like a samurai in this game, right? So like you're getting
No,
the best of both worlds. Like you have a shinobi.
not one person ever that has played an Assassin's Creed game was like, "Oh man, I want to play a fucking samurai in an Assassin's Creed game in Japan." We
That's
all looked
most
at
of
I
y'all
actually
games.
say.
like
We
I
all
like
looked at games like
redoing.
Tenchu, and
Yeah.
we're like, "We want to play that. I want to be a fucking ninja in the shadows in Japan with a
Yeah,
Ninjas.
hidden."
but I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, it caters to two folks. Like, I mean, because I remember there were missions that I redid because I wanted to play them as Yasuke, right? And it was badass. Like, it was fun. Like to kind of go like I guess guns a blazing and just kind of whip out the sword and just kind of chop heads off. But like I said, I see your point. Like, I think it's fair because it's Assassin's Creed at the end of the day, right? Like the essence of the game is the shadows and it's like the stealth and whatnot. So
The
you know
fucking
you
game is
you
called
make a fair
Shadows.
point. Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. What are you guys playing, or is it just TMNT?
I've been playing Moonlighter 2 and then God of War Ragnarok, but I think I'm gonna hold off from giving my first impressions because I want to get some more playtime into it before.
Next episode.
Yeah.
What about you, Manu?
I actually haven't been playing anything by myself.
Except for Magic.
I
Oh,
mean,
you
not even.
finished
I
This
mean,
is
playing.
not a Magic
You finished
podcast.
playing Rebirth.
oh yeah, but I did talk about it last podcast.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, I'm just kind of. It's funny enough. Yes, I'm in a video game podcast, but I'm taking a break from video games because I have a lot of other hobbies. But I'm just playing with other people. Like we're
But
playing
like you're
Helldivers.
playing with friends, but not so much
Yeah,
like solo.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So like I've been playing Helldivers, Remnant 2. We finished like last week. I think we're like 2 weeks ago, and I've been playing TMNT with you guys. That's I think all for now.
And then Guild Wars whenever
Cool.
we can find time to play.
Yes, whenever we find time.
I mean, it's always good to give some of your other hobbies some love too. Like, I mean, it's like you're still gaming, but it's just not
I
as
mean,
prominent as.
you don't want to
Yeah.
put 83 hours into Stardew Valley like your brother.
No, I don't know how he does
Man,
it.
that was a fantastic 83 hours, let me tell you.
I need to specify this was a legitimate 82 hours for real, no
Yeah.
It was like the
exaggeration.
entire month of December.
Actual
just
stat
Stardew.
in a 2-week period.
No, okay. No.
Well,
It was- it was a
didn't
month.
work a lot in December, right? So, in his defense,
What do you-
Yeah, it's like I.
December.
All right. So I guess we can
I've-
kind of like shift towards some of the things we had planned for
the
today's
Nintendo
episode.
Partner Direct.
Yeah, so they were showing off in Nintendo fashion a bunch of third-party titles that will be coming to the Switch over the next year, and so I think one of the games we're all kind of that's on our radar, and it was one of the first games they showed was Orbitals. I think it's safe to say we're all kind of like optimistic about this game, that we kind of want to give it a shot, and we're hoping it does well because like we're kind of going after the high of games like It Takes Two, and then Split Fiction. I know you guys didn't love as much, but
No.
like kind of like.
It's,
But
wanna
I
put
mean,
up
almost
a-
hard for
cool.
me. It's almost hard for me to be excited for this game because
Really?
I think I would enjoy playing it, but I don't have a Switch and it's exclusive to Switch.
Mhm.
But that's the thing. Like, I mean,
I'll give it a
and-
year, and then it'll come out on Steam.
yeah, I
Hopefully.
was just about to say. I think that it's very
What a
very
waste
possible.
otherwise.
Yeah, it's very possible, like based on like the popularity of this game, like they might release it. But honestly, it was very refreshing getting to see a partner direct with what is it about like 15, 20 titles or something.
There's a lot. I mean, to be
yeah, there
fair,
were
a lot of them
lot.
are. There were a few of them that were like already announced prior, or they were like that they've already been released and they're just being ported onto the Switch too. But
Yeah, but I mean, look, if you think about it, like the way I saw it, right? Is that when you have, it's not just like small indie games. Like
Yeah.
we're talking about heavyweights, right? Like they showed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they showed Pragmata, right? And even Indiana Jones. Like Indiana Jones is an Xbox Studio game, right? FF7 Rebirth was a PS5 exclusive, back in the day. It's like these are genuine AAA titles, and the fact that now it's it doesn't seem like a secondary port. Like it to me, it actually does feel like this could be potentially a new home for these titles. And what that means for future, I mean, I am just waiting for the day that they stop making games for the original Switch, because that to me, the developers will finally be like, all right, cool, like all hands on deck.
Mhm.
We can actually make a game that runs at like at least 30 FPS.
Yeah. I
But
mean, that's
yeah, like
more
I mean, it was
for
nice to
like if
see.
we're talking about like first. Are you? Do you mean more for like third party or first party games? Like you want to see just on the Switch too, or do you mean both?
No, I just think in general, like I mean, like
Yeah.
third parties. It's like Taz talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Like release that on the Switch, right? Like I'm just saying, I think it's nice for people that only have a Nintendo console, right? The
Yeah.
Switch 2, to be able to play these games now finally, because there was no way that these games were going to come out on the Switch 1, right?
See, that's the thing. It's
Let's just
like
be honest.
we're all in a fortunate position where we do have adult money, like money to spend on our
Yes.
hobbies, and like it's like
Some more than others.
that aside, it's like we all have our decent gaming rigs, we all have our consoles, we all have our handhelds, and it's like we often forget that for some people, it's like they have their one console, and they stick to it even like well after like it's no longer supported, and so for them, it's like they must be pretty excited to see all these titles coming to the Switch too, and
No,
Switch.
exactly. Did you guys have I mean, like I don't know if Manny, if you were going to planning on going like one by one, but did you guys have maybe a title that you're really looking forward to, especially like I know we spoke about orbitals, but when they showed the paranormal site,
Yeah.
Taz, I thought of you, Taz, like just the those kinds of like investigative like games that you can maybe potentially play with your wife, like to me like that sounds pretty awesome, and wasn't really.
This game was a surprise. I had never even heard of this, and then I know that this is a sequel to either a sequel or I think another game from like the studio had released something else, and even that at the time, people were very pleasantly surprised. So the one big thing I kept hearing with Paranormal side was just people were excited that it's even coming out.
Yeah,
I
and
was
honestly,
I was
like,
very sup-
sorry, go on,
I was
Manu.
very surprised at how well a lot of these games ran on the Switch because I was watching someone's Skills video and he had the opportunity to play Resident Evil Requiem and Pragmata on the Switch too, and apparently, obviously, graphics aside, it ran apparently runs really smoothly. Like, I don't think it's six. It's close to 60 FPS. I'm pretty sure, which is impressive for like the Switch too, and like games with those skills. So I mean,
Yeah,
I
And
just
I've heard the port for Rebirth runs exceptionally well, and that it
yeah.
looks really good, which is kind of also on one hand, great because I remember when I think it was either Village or Resident Evil 7 when it came out on the first Switch console that you
Mhm.
had to stream the game to play it. It wasn't even actually running
It's a cloud
natively
version,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell, even Kingdom Hearts 1 for some reason was a cloud
Yep.
version. But honestly, like I look at this and it's always just so confusing to me because then it's like, why did Elden Ring, for example, run so bad on this that they had to end up delaying it? Because that was playable during one of the one of the convention shows, the biggest talking point was that it kind of ran like shit on the Switch.
I
Um,
mean, it all
Did
comes
we
down to how
hear from the
games are
developers, or did we
optimized.
hear from the company that was handling the port? Like, was it an optimizing issue, or was it just like the console itself? Like,
I don't know. I don't know if it's a third party that's porting it, or I don't know if it's from software. I mean, if it is from software, I think they're not really great at optimizing their games in the first place. So
mhm.
in the end, a little, not surprising, but still, you would think that for something that came out on PS4 and Xbox One
mhm.
or whatever, that this would run relatively well on the Switch 2's hardware, especially with like DLSS and all that stuff now that it's got. Um, and and you look at things like what was it recently that came out? Skyrim. They released
Mhm.
a Switch 2 edition of Skyrim, and even that couldn't get running at 60 frames. And I'm like, this is fucking Skyrim, man. This is an Xbox 360
Yeah.
game for Christ's sake. So I'm always surprised at the spectrum of what it can run versus the things that come out on it that still run like complete shit.
Does the Steam Deck have a similar issue with that, or is it more consistent in how it runs games?
I mean, with Steam Deck, you have the benefit of being able to tweak settings, right?
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
there's obviously some games that are just from the get-go too demanding for what the hardware
hmm
will allow, but you know, there's an entire community out there tweaking settings and whatever, releasing mods if that's what they're doing as well that go ahead and can increase performance or just get a little more juice out of it. So I don't think that's necessarily like a one-to-one comparison.
So to go back to your question, Jazz, the one game that I'm a lot more excited than I thought I'd be was The Adventures of Elliot.
Yeah, you
Um,
picked it up. I saw.
Mm.
yeah, and it kind of reminds me. Well, like graphically, it's very similar to Octopath Traveler, but it's more of an action RPG instead of your traditional turn-based RPG. And the combat itself is very kind of gives me vibes of like Hades, for instance, where it's like big bad enemies and you have to like dodge and learn their patterns and just the story and the characters of the world. It seems like a fun time. Like there's not sometimes there's just not much more to it like, from that point of view. Like I'm trying to have an objective opinion like why I think it's gonna be a fun, a great game, but I think just from what I've seen, I think that's enough. Like I think I'm gonna have a good time playing it.
No, it looks pretty solid. Any love for Scott Pilgrim EX?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
it's I don't
No,
I
like.
think
you
Deep
guys.
said he's excited for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it too.
Yeah.
But is anyone else like it? I saw it. and I'm like, oh, this could be potentially something
It's
we can play.
it's weird because it feels like it's gonna be a day one, but it's such a lukewarm day one. Like it's I feel like it's gonna be
It's
just
like the most
more
7 on 10.
exactly. But you know what's gonna be such a fun 7 on 10 with the homies.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
It's like
like
TMNT.
TMNT.
Yeah.
Exactly. Is there? Yeah. So like, because to me, look, I was not expecting. I first of all, I had no idea that they were making a new Turok game. And I know maybe like Taz is probably like the only one that's old enough to maybe remember Turok on the N64. But you know, but did that kind of come out of the blue for you guys? Like,
Yeah, and it looked so much better than it deserved to
yeah.
be.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
it
I'm like, this could
actually
be
looks
decent.
cool,
Yeah.
but I also just kind of I don't get the reverence for the franchise. Like I think people just love Turok because it was novel at the time. It was a first-person shooter on
With
the Nintendo
dinosaurs.
64. But, if you look at it as a franchise, I'm like, there's not really much about this that makes it all that sort of special.
Yeah. I mean, they're
But
kind
hey,
of
it
going with
looks
that
looks cool.
fun Warframe twist to it, where it's like you can have different characters with different crazy like abilities, and you just jump in this world and just fight dinosaurs.
Did
But
they
yeah,
was this in the Barton showcase where they showed Emberville, or is that in something else?
No,
no.
Emberville was before this. But
Ah,
I know what you're referring to. Emberville looks fun, honestly.
it does. Yeah,
What's
it's like
do
a
you guys remember what that other dinosaur game that they showed? Where something like it takes place like underneath. Like I don't have that title under like
oh
the list of games.
Is it
the
like one
like
of
the
the Arc
stealth
games?
dinosaur game.
Yeah, that I was like,
The
it's like I was like,
stealth dinosaur game.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
like
like
one
you're
of the first few games they showed.
yeah, it's like the
Oh,
entire thing. It's like your Tokyo Scramble. I do have it on the
Yeah, that's
list.
the one.
So the entire point of the game, it's like you kind of get trapped underneath Tokyo, and then you find out there's like these dinosaurs or whatever that are inhabiting it, and you can't fight them. So the entire point, it's like a stealth game where you're trying to avoid the dinosaurs, and there's like horror elements to it, and like it's such a contrast to Turok because like Turok looked sick, looked like fun, crazy abilities and all that stuff, and then you have Tokyo Scramble, which is just a dinosaur survival game, and it just
When I saw
I don't know.
Tokyo Scramble, I thought, wow, they managed to take the MG sequences from Spider-Man and they made it into a whole game.
That's such a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
uh, it's a good
Oh,
time to be a Switch owner, honestly. I
yeah. I
think
was
Yeah.
gonna say.
because they finally kind of I don't know. I guess this shows that they finally caught up in the sense that when the Switch One was out, the overall sentiment would be that the ideal situation is you would have, let's say, like a Switch and a PS4, so you can still play AAA titles, but then still play
Mhm.
exclusives on Nintendo. Whereas here, you're getting. I'm not gonna. I was about to say Fallout 4 because it's on the list, but I mean, Fallout 4 is like an old title at this point. Like, it should have been able to run. But things like Indiana Jones, the Oblivion remaster,
Even Tales of
what's that
Arise.
Capcom game, Pragmata, Tales of
Pragmata.
Arise, Resident
So
Evil, like all these games coming out on this now, like you're kind of, Switch owners are eating well, man. You guys are getting the all the good third party stuff as well as the Nintendo stuff that's not going to be found anywhere else. And then, this bodes well because now let's say, I'm thinking EA is going to be bringing probably like NHL, Madden,
Yeah, the
football
NBA
club, like all
games.
that
Yep.
stuff to the Switch 2 as well. The WWE 2K26 is already coming out. That's big because that hasn't, I think, appeared on the Switch in a hot minute. So like,
you think
you
Forza
know,
6 would come to the Switch?
I
Yeah,
don't
no,
see
I
why
don't think
not.
No.
so. But
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't
well,
see
I
why
mean,
not. I mean, if Indiana Jones
oh,
can,
but you're right though. I
if
mean,
they can get
Microsoft
that to
releases.
run,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, question for you guys. For Pragmata, from the first initial trailer and then from what the gameplay we've seen, did did you guys' opinion about the game change? Because I remember like we had a very negative sentiment about the game, and a very much who asked or this game looks weird or
I never had a sentiment period for this game. I just kind of saw it and I was like, yeah, that's a Capcom ass Capcom
Yeah,
game.
and the needle
And
hasn't moved
then
Yeah.
though.
and
It's
then
the
like that's
same.
it. The needle for me has not moved whatsoever. This is a game that's out there that exists. People seem to be excited for it. There is a demo or there was a demo
Mhm.
on Steam. And people really liked what they played. And I chose it for my draft based solely on the fact that people really enjoyed what they played. Aside from that, honestly, and what I've seen, I still don't know what the fuck this game is. There's a child on the back of what seems to be either a man or a robot. I don't
which they're
know.
making an amiibo for.
It's just, yeah, it's a Capcom game. That's the best way that I could describe it.
It's very
It's
Capcom.
it's the gameplay that's like making the needle point, I guess, more down for me because it's a third person shooter or first person shooter, I guess, with
Third person.
third person, and but you're solving puzzles
Yeah,
as you're shooting, and I'm like, this is weird, but you're right, it is a Capcom game, so I might
but
just check
so
out the demo.
but see that's the thing. I was like, I still don't want to play this game, but and I think I have the opposite reaction to you, Manu, where it's like I'm like it looks like it could be fun, like in more like high stake situations where it's like you're trying to like hack, you have to figure out who you want to hack first, and like trying to like find like in terms of priority, like which enemies to focus on, like could be an interesting concept. But I'm also wondering if that's something that's going to get like if it's a gimmick that's going to get
I think it's gonna
tiresome
become repetitive. That's the
that's it.
thing, and that's
Yeah,
the thing. Like, I mean, to me, we've seen a lot of things, yes, but as I said before, everything that I'm seeing in the game, I'm just like, okay, cool, like this exists, but it hasn't moved the needle. Like, it's maybe I'll give it a shot if there's a demo, but I don't think it's a day one.
not even a chub, just fully flaccid.
No, no.
All right.
Jesus.
But honestly, like if I had to grade the partner direct, I give them a solid A. Honestly,
Yeah,
just like I think like there was so much. I mean, if the good and the bad, right? Like if you look at the good, there's so much more good. And again, like we've kind of talked about this, but getting these third party titles like Final Fantasy Rebirth, Indiana Jones, Oblivion Remastered, Resident Evil, Pragmata. Sure, we talked about it. Even in terms of the bad, like I mean, eFootball, okay, cool, like I don't care, but it's not like it's one game out of like the 17 that they showed.
yeah.
So, to me, like anything less than an A, I think would
It
be a little
it
unfair.
bodes well for the Switch too. Like to have all these titles coming up, especially considering it came out last year, and like it looks like there's a lot of third party support for it.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, after the success and how much the Switch 1 sold, I think a lot of developers are kind of looking at this and they're like, whatever game they're going to be working on, they're going to want to at least make sure that it can run on the Switch, which
Hmm.
honestly, normally I'd be like, that's gonna gimp it for everyone else. But in this case, considering what the cost of components is and how expensive gaming is becoming, you know what? If the Switch 2 wants to become the bar, I'm perfectly fine with that. So if that means that, for the next like 5 to 10 years, the games are gonna sort of be stable in this and they're not gonna go and want to achieve some stupid level of, fidelity to real life that requires everyone to kind of have rigs that are just asinine, then I'm all for it.
But we've also seen that like we've been enjoying games are not like AAA by that standard, where it's like we're
Hmm.
enjoying games that are more simplistic, but we care more about the gameplay than the overall look of it.
I
The
mean,
vibes.
games could have stopped trying to look better after like the PS4,
Yeah.
I think, and it would have been fine.
But I feel like,
Absolutely.
yeah, I feel like there's been just like almost backwards trends in like having games look realistic. Like, what's it called? The Horizon Gatherers is a really good example. It's like
Oh,
the
Gathering.
Hunters. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's just a
Next topic.
cartoony
Look
art
at that.
style.
A segue.
Yeah.
I segue, but
Um,
no.
I just I had no hopes for this game because I did not enjoy the Horizon series, but I am fucking
Ah.
all bored on this game. This is everything. I'm looking for.
That is so interesting because I love the Horizon series. The second one, like I said, it took a little bit of time to really start enjoying the game. But I thought that the second game was, was a pretty decent sequel. Though my first reaction to this is relief because I'm glad that they didn't shoehorn this into Horizon 3. Like
Mhm.
I'm glad that they're making
Mhm.
this into a standalone thing, like let them mess with the mechanics without ruining the main story.
Well,
So
it is canon. Side
and
note.
it is canon, sure, and we've all known that Gorilla has been hiring for multiplayers for years, right? Like there were reports that they were like they had a bunch of like LinkedIn jobs where they were looking for multiplayer experience. So this is not a shock, right? But my thing was more like, oh wait, how are they going to ruin Horizon 3? How is this gonna, to me, like this just feels like authentic, and I just like the fact that like this exists, and I don't need to play it if I don't want to, right? So I can follow like the Horizon series as a single player game, and I think they emphasized this like numerous times during the announcement, like during the 10-minute video, that like we are still focusing on single player, like we're not gonna touch that experience. So this is really just something new. So yeah, I mean, I'm super happy, Manu. Like, is there something specific that you were like, oh, this is like
It's the
my
gameplay because it's they describe, well, the consensus I've seen online. It's like a Monster Hunter mixed with like Night Rain, Elden Ring Night Rain, and the developers kept emphasizing as well throughout the video that this game, it won't be easy. It'll, like, you need to plan out what you bring to the
The
party,
party.
the
Yep.
tools you equip. Like it's going to be a challenge, and I I feel like there aren't many like challenging co-op games these days. Like obviously Elden Ring Night Rain was one of them. So this looks like it's, yeah,
Yeah,
just because it
and
looks like
especially
more of a
this one,
Monster
it
Hunter.
does. It is like you're just hunting down a big bad, but like as you're getting there, it's like there's side things you're doing as well, like getting
Mhm.
equipment, getting items, making yourself stronger. And I think there's an appeal to that because we don't. There's not a lot of games that kind of fit that criteria, and the only one that comes to
Mhm.
mind is Dauntless. And even then, like this reminds me of Dauntless at its peak, and that was even short lived before like there was a whole like debacle with that. So like from that point, like from a gameplay point, like I'm fully hooked in, and I'm excited to try that play test that they're gonna have. I'm not sure if it's a closed or open one. I don't remember, but hopefully I'll get a chance to try it out.
Yeah,
And
I
I
have this
sorry, go on.
like but what I was gonna mention is like I really hope that, I mean, we're gonna have different classes and flexible builds because I don't want to see everyone just shooting arrows either at the screen.
Yeah,
Like
so
I
they
think
did
that's just
mention
gonna
that
be.
it's going to start up with three classes, and then the classes are character locked, and they are planning on I think bringing in two or three more characters by launch, and
Mhm.
then they're following the traditional
Trinity
MMO kind
system.
of Trinity system, which is like a tank, a healer, and the DPS. So like you are going to
Okay,
have
got
a
it.
kind of dedicated role based on the character you're picking within the team.
Yeah, I mean, and like to be honest with you, and I think it's a safe spin-off too, right? Like, did they say it? So this is a live service game. Is that what it is?
I think
I don't
Uh,
think they've specified.
Oh,
no,
they
but
haven't.
it
I
does point towards a
Yeah.
live service game.
I
yeah.
mean, everything I saw when I look at it, I'm like, this has got to be live service. There's no way
Yeah,
that
because
it's
and
not.
Sony's desperate for a live service, right? Like, I mean, again, it's nothing. It's not bold, right? Like, I mean, I think if you're a fan of like the series, if you like the lore, I mean, I think you're just gonna get more of it. I do like, again, like the Manu. I think you really hit the nail on the head. Like the whole, I think it's gonna chase that Monster Hunter audience as well, right? Like I feel like a lot of new folks might jump into it. Like I didn't get into Monster Hunter, but because I love Horizon, like maybe like this is gonna give me, like this is gonna be the opening point to that other series. But yeah, did they announce a release date for this?
Not that I remember seeing.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
No, there's just like a beta coming up, I think.
Okay.
But that's it. What do you
Did
guys think of
anyone
the
sign up?
aesthetic?
Oh, not a fan.
I loved it. I
I'm
think
all
the
for it.
aesthetic definitely had me down. I think if the aesthetic was similar to what the Horizon games are, I don't think I would be as inclined to check it out. But there's just something about the style that this game is in that makes it very
It just
appealing.
reminds me of Fortnite. It's just weird. I
But I
mean, like,
think, but
yeah.
based off the type of combat it is, action-packed, fast-paced combat, I think it fits well with the style of graphics.
Yeah, just like I'm assuming like the support skills you'll see and everything, it just fits better.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a
it's like
wacky element
it's
to it
just
that makes it more
Like I
I'm
fun.
really
thinking of
hope
like
that they lean into
Overwatch.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really want them
And
to lean into it, especially with just all the how stylistic the trailer was when introducing all the characters with the
Mhm.
little whatever animated flourishes and all that. Like I really hope that they lean into it and it's kind of not just, you know, glorified Fortnite, but
well,
yeah.
based on the little gameplay they showed us, it seems like it is like gearing towards that. Like it,
But
yeah,
like there's something about this art style too. Like it allows them to be a bit more not whimsical, but like a bit more flashy with the abilities as well. And then therefore you get more unique characters instead of making it more grounded on reality, kind of like how the
Yeah, yeah.
Horizons
Like
main title games are.
it's fair. I mean, like you do have to sacrifice the hyper realism if
Yeah.
you know, and the game gives me like fun arcadey vibes. So I guess the art style makes sense. It again it reminds you of just maybe like Fortnite meets Borderlands a little bit. Um,
I do want to
nothing wrong
know
with it.
more about the monetization for the game because I think that could make it or break it, depending on what kind of progression system they're looking at. If it's going to be like a battle pass system, or if it's like, and also the price point for this game. If it's like a $90 game, and then on top of that, it's like you have to buy the battle
It
pass
is
to get like,
not gonna be $90.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was free to play. I wouldn't be surprised if they
Whoa.
were planning on making it a what's the word I'm looking for? Not freemium, uh, like a premium game as a service, similar to like Concord, where there's a price of entries you have to pay for the game, and then afterwards it's also a service. But
Yeah.
that after what happened to Concord, that they just decided to make it free to play.
yeah. But then
Um,
you do have games like Helldivers that do it really well, right? Where it's like you paid to play the game. There's a small initial fee, but then you can choose to buy the battle passes and the war bonds in this case, and they don't expire. So then players that come in later on, they don't have the the idea that they missed out on so much like
With the
cosmetics or
FOMO.
content. Yeah, the FOMO exactly.
yeah, I mean, if they decide to go with that, I mean, there's for sure gonna be like a whole, season architecture and stuff. Like
Hmm.
that's just sort of baked into gaming as a whole these days. So I'm hoping that they do make it like Helldivers, where you're not just there's no FOMO because I think that would be very irritating.
Mm.
But you're gonna see a lot of weapon skins, character skins, all that stuff. Like it's just it's inevitable.
In terms of release dates, the only dates that we were given, we are aware that I think it's supposed to come out sometime in 2026, but the closed playtest is sometime in late February.
I mean,
Uh,
if we can get into the beta, I'd be down to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be super sad if I don't make it in because I'm sure I'll try when it releases. But
I do love the fact that it has crossplay and cross progression from day one. So, so if it
I
does come
mean,
out on the
even
Switch too,
I was about to say even better if it comes to Switch too, which wouldn't well I wouldn't be surprised. Are there any Sony titles on the Switch as far as we're well no actually Final Fantasy doesn't count.
oh, actually, they've confirmed it's coming out for PlayStation 5 and PC. So nothing about the Switch 2
Mm,
yet.
oh maybe down the
Mm,
line.
Yeah,
I feel like Helldivers would be good on the Switch.
that would be.
yeah.
Would they censor anything?
Well,
Because like I know there's a whole
Well, I think
controversy
the
with like.
barrier is probably the whole having to create a Sony account. So I don't know if that's maybe something that
Mm.
would make it that Nintendo doesn't want that kind of thing. Who knows?
mhm.
But then again, actually, there's Fortnite, and that needs an Epic account. So, anyways, I'm just gonna stop talking.
But I mean, like it's comparing. I feel like having to create an Epic account versus having to create a Sony account means different things to Nintendo. Because like
But
I
I
think they
don't know
consider
why it
Sony to be
would.
more of a direct competitor to their console versus just having an Epic account.
I mean,
I
Epic is
mean,
also a form of
sure,
competitor because they have their
Mm-hmm.
own launcher, right? And their own
True,
store.
yeah, and then
but
and if if it's Helldivers 2 sells like crazy on the Switch too, they're still getting their cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then maybe there's exceptions made because look at the popularity for games like Fortnite. They'd be crazy not to allow that on the Switch just because they didn't want people making an Epic account. Whereas if you're comparing numbers versus for like for games like Horizon Hunters, it's like it's probably not going to be that same level. So maybe in
Maybe,
that
but
case they could be more
I
picky.
don't see what the downfall is because
It's
You're
Nintendo. We don't
basically
we don't know what they're
it's I
thinking.
mean, yeah, I mean, Nintendo does what Nintendo does,
We'll
right? I
Yeah.
sue
mean,
you.
they Nintendo what Nintendo, but that said, like in terms of Helldivers 2, like there's no downsides to it coming out on their system. They're getting a lot more players coming in because like, oh, now I can play Helldivers 2 on the Switch. And then what's the worst case scenario? It's gonna make them want to go over to Sony and play some Sony games. Well, they already bought their fucking Switch, so you already got their money. It doesn't matter what they do at that point.
Uh, I couldn't think of a segue for this, and this isn't on the our like sheet of topics for this episode, but like this just happened today, and I feel like it'd be crazy for us not to talk about it. This whole Discord fiasco with having to
Oh man.
now upload some sort of proof of ID or verifying your age. And this is a
This-
global, mind you, rollout that's going to happen for all Discord users at the beginning of March.
So I
Remember,
would
this
wait.
is following the massive leak with usernames, I think, or was it
Well,
IDs?
so
So there
they
was a leak
had
in
some sort of,
October,
yeah,
Like
they had some
and
sort of,
17,000.
there was a data breach, and
Mhm.
there were
Mhm.
government IDs stolen as part of that breach. So that happened in October, and now they're like, everyone gonna have to give
Let's
us their
double
ID
down.
in
Yeah.
March.
yeah. And
Yeah, I would wait because like well, in the sense that like I think it was first reported on The Verge. I wouldn't be surprised if they went back on this, man. Like the amount of no one is happy about this. Like nobody. Like everyone's just kind of wondering like why this is happening,
Well, I
right?
mean, I
And
don't know
like
what they
this
expect.
is like, well, I mean, like, look, I mean, we all know, like, they talked about IPO and all that kind of stuff. I this has nothing to do with IPO, right? And then you start kind of like
Of course,
digging
it's
into
nothing
it,
to do with IPO.
what's
If
asking
they
IPO?
have,
for
if they have this level of user data, that just makes them that much more valuable
What's IPO?
it's
when they go
when
public.
they
So
go
you can,
public.
Oh, right.
so then you can buy shares in Discord. So then after that, every decision is not for the good of the community; it's for the good of the shareholders. And so that's when it's going to become that much worse of a platform.
This
Because
is a sinking ship. It's only a matter
yeah,
of
but
time.
that's yeah. I was gonna say like it doesn't like because I kind of went in the rabbit hole because I was like, okay, is Discord an American company? Yes, they were. And then I'm like, okay, who are the founders? So there's like two guys. And then I was like, what are their political allegiances? Right? Like, are they Republican or Democrats? Because that could say a lot about where they're going, right? I just think overall, I think whatever everything that's going on in the US, and this could go very political. I think people are kind of like losing like their sense of freedom, and they're kind of like losing that. And then I started looking at like partners that have kind of like funded Discord. Tencent is one of them as well, which is a Chinese company. So then there's like a whole, you can like basically like talk about this for like in many many different ways. But to me, like there's nothing positive about this. Like there's nothing that like you can't really defend this, you know what I mean?
Like
Like
the
So
only the
this is the
only
death of
reason
Discord.
why, yes, I agree, but the only reason why I can see they're pushing for this, besides the whole like pleading shareholders and whatnot, but it's like targeting adult content for younger kids. Sure, sure, but they haven't given us the confidence that they're that they're not gonna have some sort of data breach, that they're not gonna lose our IDs. So it's like it doesn't
well, yeah.
exactly.
First off, that breach happened in October, which
Yeah.
is nothing more than a few months ago. Second, this is a US company, right? That's telling me that, oh, we're doing this for the safety of the children when your fucking government is sitting on a list of pedophiles that would go to a planet and fuck little girls that they don't want to release to protect a certain number of people. And yet, so you know what? Like, go fuck yourselves. I'm not giving you my ID. I would fucking sooner get a landline and go three-way calling with all of you and fucking communicate that way than use Discord if they want my ID.
Well put.
But then, okay, then it's like, what is, and I know there are alternatives out there.
There is no reason for this to be on a global scale. I know that there are certain countries, like in the UK, where they absolutely want you to upload a government ID to prove that you are an adult. And that's not something that Discord has control over. That's just them complying with local laws, and that's fine. But
Mhm.
there is no such law here in Canada. So the fact you're still going to make me upload an ID or do a facial scan so that I can prove to you that I am an adult, like Fuck you. No. Why? Why should I have to do that?
Do you guys feel like if this was somehow like if they could somehow work with local governments and then like have some sort of verification in place where they're not storing our information but they can cross reference like
I
the
shouldn't
No.
have to prove
But
shit.
Yeah.
why though? But that's the
As soon as
thing.
Period.
Why?
I
the
literally should
provider
not
asked
fucking
me
have to prove
to,
anything.
as soon as the provider asked me to give them like an ID to prove who I am, I'm not using that service anymore.
Yeah,
Especially in
you're like, all
Canada,
right,
'cause
I'm
you
gonna
don't
take
need
my
to.
business elsewhere.
This guy
Yeah.
works for the government, y'all, and he don't want to fucking do it. All right?
so
That's gotta
Yeah.
tell you something. There's no reason for me to give you my ID, none
Okay.
whatsoever. So
So
at
with
the
that
end of
being
the
said,
day, with that happening, everyone's account is going to be basically turned into a teen account, and you're going to be limited in terms of the things you can see and channels you can join if they're adult channels or whatever. Like I'm not quite sure how Discord works on that deep of a level because I mean we just fucking use it once a week to game together and that's it. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to affect a whole lot for all of us, right?
yeah,
It's
did they
mostly
So
say what the
gonna
limitations were for having like a quote unquote teen
certain
account?
they haven't
channels
talked
you're
about
not
it
going to be
yet.
able to join. Yeah, there's just like certain
Mhm.
channels or on Discord that are sort of
Mhm.
more adult oriented or like rated for adults because of their content one way or the other that you're not going to be able to join certain bits of overall content that if Discord deems it to be mature. I don't know how that is.
Yeah.
It's going to be hidden from you. You're not going to be able to, I think, get like DMs from people that are not on your friends list or something like that. There's like a list of certain limitations that will be put on
Yeah.
every account until that person has proven that they are in fact an adult. So in the end, just a lot of shit that I don't think is necessarily gonna really affect us in any major way,
Okay,
but it
there are
so
sucks
options
nonetheless.
before Discord. There are options currently, alternatives for Discord, and there will definitely be options after Discord. Because as soon as shit hits the fan, just like with Twitter, there'll be people will come up with their own platforms.
well, so it also depends how they're gonna go ahead with this rollout because it's like, is it gonna be well your accounts are being labeled as a teen account until you prove otherwise, or is it you have to do the verification and then they'll either label it as an adult or a teen account? Because
I think
if it's the
from what I
latter,
read,
then
From what I read, everyone starting in March or
yeah,
whenever
it
this
gets a
rollout is
teen
supposed to
account.
happen will be
Mhm.
labeled a teen account unless proven otherwise.
Okay, so it shouldn't affect us. I don't think it should affect most people.
Yeah, but
Then.
just because it's not affecting me in that way doesn't necessarily mean that I'm okay with this level of absolute fucking bullshit.
Mm.
So
So,
we'll be
if this is
migrating
what
our
they want to
server.
do and they want to go, and if they want to go ahead and do this, then everyone go find a fucking alternative, man. Don't everyone bitch out now because it's not going to affect you, and then let them do this and let them know that it's okay. Go out and fucking find an alternative. Go back to Ventrilo, download MSN Messenger, get that fucking shit back online. Send your friends some fucking smoke signals. Use
Nudge
courier
them.
pigeons. I don't fucking care. Like if this is how they want to
Ha-
play this, then like
ha-
fuck you guys. There was shit that we can use before Discord. Those shit that we'll be able to use after Discord. And then when that shit starts to become shit as well because they've become really popular and they want your fucking IDs, then we'll move on to the next thing.
have some emo lyrics as your status, right, Manny? Capital
Okay,
letter,
what do you gotta
small
call
letter,
me out
capital
like
letter, small letter,
that?
weird
Why you gotta call me
symbols.
out like that? Oh,
Fucking
Anyways,
bullshit,
not
man.
good.
Honestly, this is just super
yeah.
Not
annoying.
good.
It's just
Not
It
good.
is.
irritating. Everything becomes shit. Literally everything has
You
to
know,
eventually become shit for the sake of some fucking either
but
shareholders or, for some other reason because they decide, hey, you know what? They've had it good for so long. Let's go ahead and make this a complete fucking piece of garbage so that they could reminisce on how things used to be.
and this is why, Taz, that Discord would never receive the French cultural honor. But you know who did?
I'm not knighting anyone from
But
Discord.
but you know who did though? Expedition 33.
My
The
boys.
developers received the French cultural honor, and Manny's gonna talk all about it.
I mean, it's so I was like, oh, so it's kind of like the getting knighted in like
I
in
didn't even
With
know
Britain.
this was a
a
thing in
baguette, like
France.
do they take a baguette and then like they just like
But
knight you?
apparently, it's just like some sort of award, and it's not so
Yeah.
much like because like in the UK, it's like if you're knighted, you can have the suffix "sir" to your name, or sorry, the prefix "sir" to your name. But apparently, it just
Sir Taz.
it's not that same level
Passer.
of
Right.
recognition. It's just an award for having a major cultural significance, which is great
Listen,
for them. Like
They did a
we've
good
talked about
thing. They deserve it.
exactly. Are we? Surprised? I don't know. Like I
I don't
was.
know. Moving on. Like, I mean, I feel like the game's
It's
gotten enough
great.
fucking accolades, and I'm just tired now. I'm like, whatever,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Just go.
Stop jerking
Give
off.
them, just give them an Oscar for some reason while we're at it, and let's just call it a day too. Like, just
I
give
mean,
them
they are making the
everything so
movie,
that I
right?
can
So
stop hearing
maybe they
about it.
will get an Oscar.
Was it a TV show or a movie?
Who's
Movie.
Chris Pratt playing?
He's playing
He's
SK.
he's voicing
Yes,
SK.
yeah.
He's gonna work on.
No.
It's gonna be like Mario. He's like, oh, I've been working on this voice to be amazing, and you guys will see. This is literally his voice.
Oh man, I hope. Oh man, it's gonna
Hey,
ruin
it's a
it.
me, SK.
Miss I me.
End of the trailer, you get a little wahoo.
For on the polar opposite of that, for something we're hoping it's not going to be shit. Or is going to be shit. Baldur's Gate
Who's
3
we?
is getting a sequel TV show, which I don't know how to feel about this.
Am I the only one who doesn't care?
Well,
Or like, cause hey, the game was good. The lore is like fantastic, but I see this and I'm like, okay, sure.
so okay.
Maybe they just want like a Witcher. You know what I mean? They just kind of.
I
They,
don't know what. How do you make a TV show of this? Because
there's so many different possibilities for endings.
there's like,
Yeah.
didn't they say this game had like something dumb, like whatever X number of thousand potential different endings or
It was like
something?
14,000
Well, no,
variations.
And
or
there's just
something.
so many
Yeah.
things that you could do. Like, I think they just basically recognize people were thirsty to, fuck a bear, and they're like, let's make a TV show. Like, I think at the end, that's kind of what happened. Like, if I watch a full season of the show and a bear don't get fucked, they
Taz,
failed.
come on, man.
What
As you
were
know,
they
there's
There
doing?
is
Rule
a
34
show you
for
can.
that.
There's a show where you can watch a bear get fucked. It's called Heated Rivalry.
They're not bears in
This
that,
is,
dude. They're not
Well,
considered
no,
bears.
I guess yeah, neither one of them are.
Are you watching Heater Rivalry, Mano? Is that the reveal?
Well,
No,
we
I
both
already
saw
watched
it. I
it.
think.
Yeah,
Huh? You both are
we both went.
Yeah.
We both watched it. Yeah.
together.
together?
No.
Yeah,
Fucking
together.
good.
Watch it. See, that's why I hesitated. It's like,
hold
they're
on.
gonna take it there.
I'm just waiting. I was like, they're gonna say it.
So why?
Yeah.
Like, because you guys are not like hockey fans or whatever. So what was it? Was it like
No one,
the
no
gay
one
storyline
watches,
or-
no one
Wait,
watches this
was
for
it
the
was it was
hockey,
it was
man.
it the gay storyline that like
You watch
really
porn for the
interested you
plot,
guys? Or
Spinder? I don't understand.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm curious about the pizza delivery guy.
This guy's not
delivering
believable
under
as a
30
delivery
minutes.
guy at all.
Yeah, you want to know if he got paid or not? Well, what
Hey,
was his
this is
tip? You know.
this isn't a game. We can't talk about this on it. This is a gaming podcast. We got to
That
stay
is-
on topic.
yeah, that is true. But you know what's actually pretty cool about the TV show are the people that are linked to the TV show, right? Because you have people that worked on Chernobyl and also like Last of Us, and Chernobyl is actually one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Like, that is insane. One of the best miniseries. It'll just kind of make your stomach turn. So if you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend watching it. It's an HBO show. So maybe they'll do something right with Baldur's Gate, but I mean, I don't know who asked for this, honestly.
I don't
I'm
think it'll be
sure-
bad.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
there are a
just
lot
don't
of
think
people
it
that are
needs to
excited
exist.
to see more of Baldur's Gate, and then to see what kind of potential sequel could look like in terms of like a direct sequel. But something that's weird is that they're not conferring with Larian Studios. Do you feel like they should maybe talk to their writing team to get some input on from a narrative perspective, or
Well,
is
that-
it okay for HBO just to be doing their own thing?
That worked really well with The Witcher, so that was a joke. I mean, clearly, I mean, it was the same thing, right? Like, The Witcher team was never consulted, and yeah,
Honestly, I wish they would just forget about this and instead make a sequel to the Dungeons and Dragons movie that had come out a few years ago with Chris Pine.
That was a pretty fun movie.
That was an excellent movie.
Yeah.
And like, that's kind of what you want out of a D&D movie, which is, this is a D&D show, right? And they did it right. So just give me more of that instead. Like, I don't know. I feel like the game is more than good enough. I think I don't.
But with that being said, if it's that quality, there's we're ripping on it without even having seen anything. I mean, it's just been announced, right? So it's like it could be on that level of quality when it comes out.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing that would make this cool is if somehow they were kind of producing the show as the season went on and there was input from the community and they can either vote on certain things or kind of get them involved as if it's like a D&D, you know what I mean? Like do something creative in that kind of a sense, which I don't think is going to happen. Not necessarily like a choose your own adventure style like Bandersnatch or whatever back in the day, but I don't know. Because the whole thing with Baldur's Gate is just, the choices you have and how you deal with every situation, right? And like adapting that to a TV show is just
I mean, I can see a scenario where they have like one season, but they have like four different last episodes, and I guess they're different based on like what happens or like what the main character chooses, I guess, or something of that variation.
or even just a season along the season, different, episodes are
That might be
entirely
confusing
different based
though.
on regions or something, but they all kind of still intertwine because like the main
Okay.
plot still moves forward. A certain dialogue might be different or certain instances. You know what I mean? Like things that are just maybe like quasi minor things that are different from one viewing to the next, but that still lead. Just like if you're playing the game, like at the end of the day, all you can make a whole different number of decisions, but the plot still moves forward.
Kind of
Anyways,
like kind of like
I
the
don't know.
idea of when it's suggested where it's like
Heated
episodes
rivalry.
focusing on different.
Oh.
Hey man, if you have you seen Heated Rivalry? Or are you
No,
just shitting on
no.
it
It's
because it's
no.
gaming?
I'm not shitting on it. It's on the list. It's on this list of things that
Okay,
we gotta
it's a good
watch.
show. It's a good show. No, I kind of do like that aspect where it's like it could be like a couple episodes focusing on like what if Asterion did like kill all those vampires and become immortal or something like or like
No, but they strictly said this is post Baldur's Gate 3. So like it's the characters living with defense after. So like how
okay.
the world has changed and yeah.
I wonder if there's gonna be any backlash where like some people are gonna be pissed off that their favorite character didn't get the ending that they wanted.
I don't care for this show.
That's how
Fair
Moving
enough.
on.
that's
Yeah.
what I started this topic with.
What was
Moving
the
on.
Taz? What was that segment you had created, which was our bangers? I think that's what it was.
Oh yeah, yeah, bangers.
All right. Well, I'm putting you guys on the spot. What are your bangers for this episode of the podcast?
I don't understand what that
Are we not
means.
talking about the
Yeah.
Valve thing, or is that not
Yeah,
happening?
I was like, well, what is there to talk about, really?
It's coming out in
It's
the first half of 2026, and with RAM
the
prices, it
ultimate
might be more
sadness.
expensive than it was. What can you remind me what the bangers are? What that means?
It's like
Bangers and mash.
no, it's like a personal highlight. Whether it could be like something you're watching, playing, something you're doing, it's just like something you want to mention or talk about.
I guess we all know what Manu's banger is.
Heated rivalry.
I don't know.
Go on, Manu.
I,
Tell us which magic card.
I would say Helldivers, man.
That's a
It's
new
You're
magic card
back
I've
into
never
it.
heard of.
I'm back into it. I'm just ignoring Taz at this point. It's it's fun as hell, man. Especially when you're playing with four players co-op. I can easily spend like 4 hours playing that game, and time just flies by. So
Jesus
it,
Christ, guys! A co-op game is fun in co-op. You've heard it here first.
well, no,
It's a
you can play that game
TMNT
solo,
game
right?
based in the TMNT
He doesn't
universe.
enjoy it, right? So it's like,
Oh boy,
so not every co-op game is fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not nice being shit on, is it, Manu?
I
Yeah.
didn't even
What
talk about it.
what's your banger, Manny? Tell
I
us.
honestly I didn't have one prepared. I was just like,
Seriously, so you
yeah, I
just
was
you
just
just come
throwing
up with this
things.
topic and you're like,
Well, I mean, Taz came up with the idea. I just threw it in
okay.
there.
This is something I came up with so long ago and that was never brought back up, and that you just decided to bring back up, and you're acting as if I fucking sprung it on you.
Manny's like, we have to
You're
pad
welcome.
the episode with like more
This is
content.
literally that meme of that kid on the bike that he puts the stick in the wheel, and then he's like, "Why would Taz do this to me?"
All right. Well,
I mean-
we can come back to it if you want.
No,
if you
no,
want to
no,
think
no,
about
no,
it.
no.
I can-
You
okay,
started
hold on.
this. Everyone have a fucking banger. Go, Manny. What is your banger? You brought this up.
Let me talk. How about that? I've been
Let
watching a
him
new
cook.
show, and it's not a new show by any means. It's called Sharp Objects. So a show
Oh,
with
it's
Amy
amazing.
Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amy Adams. Yeah.
2 episodes in,
Incredible.
I'm really fucking hooked into it, and definitely watching this after like this episode. But it's like just the first episode itself, there's so much like hidden details and like tiny things you can easily miss. And it doesn't come off as a very creepy show. So the entire premise of the show is basically it's a reporter that goes back to her hometown and she's investigating two murders of a girl of girls. And so but like throughout the episode there's like weird freaky things that happen that you can easily miss. For example, at one point she like you see her get in her car and she like looks down at her phone, but like on the car stereo it says wrong, and when she looks back up it just says auxiliary, things like that. Like at one point like she's walking in her old home and like her mom's like bringing her to her room, and like when her mom walks back after dropping her off, you see the ghost of a dead girl and just immediately pans to a next scene. Like things like they don't always answer. And like it's almost like a Fall of House of Usher kind of creepy vibe. Like where you notice things in the background that you can easily miss. And really enjoying the mystery of the show as well.
Yeah, it's really cool because I mean, I love the show and I thought that it was a perfect miniseries. You know, because she is she's portrayed as an alcoholic,
Yeah.
right? So it's kind of the thing where it's like, okay, well, what you're kind of seeing things also from like her lens as well, right? Like she's kind of, you know, it's a little bit cloudy up there.
hmm
So
And like
yeah,
even how she perceives her reality is a bit fragmented as well, because she's back home and she's reliving these memories, and like it's almost caught her off guard, and then you're questioning, okay, well, am I watching this, is it actually happening, or is it really just a part of her imagination? And it adds a certain mystery to the show that's really captivating.
Amy Adams is really good. If you really enjoy sharp objects, I really recommend you guys watch Nocturnal Animals.
Okay.
It's a great movie. It's probably in my top 10 movies of all time. Really, really, really good movie. That and Arrivals. Arrival? The one with the aliens. The language? No.
Ye-
Arrival. Yeah, that too is in my top
yeah.
10. Yeah.
Jazz,
So
did you
that
have a
was.
banger
Oh.
lined up?
Yeah, actually, I saw two movies recently that I would highly recommend to you guys. The first one is Begonia. Um,
Fan fucking tastic.
Dude, that movie was just batshit crazy from beginning to the end. Essentially, Begonia is about these two guys that are conspiracy theorists, and they're obsessed with this high-powered CEO because they're convinced that she's an alien. I'm not gonna say anything else, um, but the movie is quite a trip, and it's a fantastic movie. And then the other movie that I was gonna recommend is, man, I like for whatever reason I'm like I missed out on all these Nicolas Cage movies because I feel like Nicolas Cage after like National Treasure, I was like, what did this guy ever make? But he's made some freaking great movies, and one of them is called Color Out of Space. It's like this sci-fi horror movie. And essentially, you know, him and his family, they moved to this remote you know, farmland to kind of escape like the noise of like the city, and they notice that this meteorite crashes in on their front lawn, and it basically starts to melt into the earth, and this meteorite obviously brings this like alien bacteria or whatever you want to call it, but then shit hits the fan. Without going into all of it, Nicolas Cage is fantastic in this movie. There's so many moments where he's turned and like he sounds a lot like Trump, which I thought was freaking hilarious. Obviously making fun of the whole, you know, hive mind and everything, but I thought that was a really, really good movie. So if you guys are in the mood for an entertaining very, very Nicolas Cage movie, definitely check out the Color Out of Space. But yeah, those are my two bangers. And we're missing Taz.
Shit. Banger. I barely
Heated
know her.
Rivalry.
No. All right. No, not heated rivalry. I will bring up a TV show though. I don't know if
Hell
you
yeah.
guys have all seen Shrinking.
Ooh, yeah, it's an
That's
Apple
not
TV
the
show, right?
So it's an Apple TV
Yeah.
TV show. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford. He plays a therapist. Well, they're both therapists. They work at the same place, but it centers around Jason Segel's character. He plays a therapist whose wife is killed in a drunk driving accident, and so season 3 just started. If you're starting from season one, which if this is the show that you have not seen, you absolutely should. It kind of goes from him dealing with the death of his wife to kind of dealing now how to go about continue raising his daughter without her, dealing with the fact that obviously the wife is gone. He's just super depressed. Um, but then at the same time, it's seen through this like lens of therapy because he's a therapist and all of his friends are therapists and they obviously just want what's best for him. I don't want to go too much into it more than that, but it's very genuinely funny. It's a very touching show. Um, just honestly can't say enough good things about it. Just great, great writing. Every episode ends and you want to start the next one right away.
Is
Again,
the
season 3
actor?
just started.
Sorry, the you said Harrison Ford and who?
Jason
Jason
Segel.
Segel.
He's not the one in How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, that's him.
He is.
Okay, I think I've seen clips of that. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, no, great, great show. Season 3 actually. So I guess like every kind of season has its arc. Um, so season 1, I guess, is like him just overall getting better at dealing with the death of his wife, and then 2 is more along the lines of like his daughter, and then his daughter kind of finds she finds the person that was responsible for the accident. So there's like a whole thing with when she meets that person, and then 3 is gonna deal with him also now having met the person that killed his wife, and he kind of like wants to help him because that person's very remorseful and not doing well. Um, just great show. Honestly, like I think you guys would all very much enjoy it. So everyone should definitely check it out.
Should
And
I
that
check that out
is my
before
binder.
Heated Rivalry, or should I watch that show first?
I mean,
You should
it
watch it at the
depends.
same
It's a
time.
good it's a good
Together.
cleanse. It's a good cleanse in between dickings if you want to kind of go back and forth.
You
I
know
mean,
all the
it is called shrinking, right? So
yeah, Christ, all
Nothing
the
deep knows about.
All right, I was gonna make a comment, but fuck it. Thanks for watching another episode of Not Quite High Score. As usual, you guys can see our lovely faces on YouTube at notquitehighscore.com, and you guys can talk to Taz on Blue Sky. Send us an email, notquitehighscore@gmail.com. I'm sure if the deadline is passed for Taz to get that
Deadline's
commission.
March, guys. I'm telling you. There's
All
maybe
right,
one
if we
more
see a single
episode
email, we will get a
before the
commission
deadline.
of a cat licking Biscoff off of Jazz's nipples. Yes, you heard that right.
I'm a flexible man. I'll make you Nutella if you want. A cat can be orange. I can put Jazz in a funny hat.
so,
The possibilities are endless, guys. Just
so
Did you
someone
put
has
him in
to
a
send
hockey
you a
jersey?
question, or is it like
send us a
any?
question. Send us an email.
Just acknowledge us.
Someone outside of our circle is all. No, and don't go having like, Catherine create an email to then send to get a picture commissioned. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a real human being outside of our humble circle. Just send us anything
Yeah,
at
we
all.
will do a
Question.
background check
Ask
on you.
me
By
my
the way,
favorite. Ask me my favorite color.
we're gonna wait for you to submit a ID to Discord, and then we're gonna breach it and access it that way.
That's it. And then just ask
Yeah.
anything. My
Yeah.
favorite color, what I had for breakfast.
Your
What
thoughts
the
and
actual
feelings?
length of Deep's penis is.
Bye,
All
guys.
right, my name.